What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the merch as promised. This is part 2 of the vinyl drops and Holy Grails video. I got a couple more records for you guys, so hang in there, alright? So, there's a record store in Orlando, Florida, right by UCF called Smart Punk. They have their own exclusives. This is another Czech Republic repress that I got. And they're calling this Smart Punk exclusive 74 out of 300. This band, who needs no introduction, you have one of the most important groups to come out of the LA hardcore scene, especially for modern hardcore, post-hardcore, everything that came out of that scene. And we have a huge debt of gratitude to this band and for this album, and that, of course, is Terror's Always the Hard Way. Terror's vinyls are all getting repressed again. It's really cool to be able to see them in the record store. I much prefer getting them in the record store. I think it's way more fun. You get to support the store. You get to support the local guys that are always punching out in the scene and trying to, support the heavy metal scene, support the record store scene. But I didn't get all the Terror, any of the Terror records really through online. I mean, I had the opportunity to. And I know Tiger Records in Jacksonville, they had a couple of pristine copies on the wall. Even first presses on vinyl, things that I would have definitely bought. But Tiger Records, man, when they know their customer base, because every time they get something, it is sold out immediately. They know their fan base well. They have a good fan base for Tiger Records. I drive up there all the time. It's 3.5 hours, and I don't care. I always have a blast going up to Jacksonville to see the guys at Tiger Records, to see Rick and to see James. They're both great guys. One of them is a little bit of a heavy metal celebrity as well. So if you go look that store up, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. Both great guys. I need to ask them to sign my stuff, honestly, because I have a couple of their albums, and I do need to ask James if he'd be willing to sign some of my stuff for me. So anyway, this is Terror's Always the Hard Way. The first song that really pulled me into this album was actually Lost. Just that opening 15 seconds of this record, of that song, drew me into Terror and blew me away. So let's go ahead and pull this bad boy up. This is produced by the almighty Zeus. If you know hardcore, metalcore, heavy metal, we would not have the scene we have today without the productions of Zeus. I mean, he's just done so many albums for so many bands. And the cool thing about this, it's got 14 tracks. Some of them are a little bit longer, some are a little bit shorter. You have quite a few backup vocalists and guest vocals on here, which just makes the record even more fun. This album, I guess, is kind of famous in the heavy metal community because you never get the same track listing twice, depending on which way it was produced and who repressed it. But pretty nice custom insert here. Even the lead singer for Terror, I mean, he's been on so much as far as guest vocals goes. He's done a lot in the hardcore and heavy metal community. When I think about, like, the first, if you look about, like, Winds of Plague even, I mean, even they've had guest vocals from Terror on there as well. So this comes with holy crap, this comes with a huge poster. Did not know this came with the repress, but this thing is huge. Alright, so we got Terror, Always the Hard Way, which seems to be a moniker for my freaking life. Triple B Records. This is, like I said, this is a repress coming from Smart Punk vinyl. I feel bad I'm not putting this one away correctly. Anyway, really excited to have that, especially for how much the band Terror is meant to me. I mean, overwhelming with as far as positivity in the heavy community, hardcore bands are concerned. Overwhelmingly positive mosh pit mentality, always pushing, always go hard. I mean, even the album Keepers of the Faith, that used to be a huge weightlifting and running album for me because it gives you that energy to keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting for what you believe in. And I feel like from an LA hardcore band, Terror's miles ahead of everybody else. Obviously massively influential, and there will never be another band like Terror. As many copycats as we get, Terror is always the way. Now, here's something I didn't realize was the absolutely gorgeous vinyl. So we have a little bit of a nice split, kind of that like rainbow butterfly appearance. Can't words today. Words are hard, okay? Triple B Records, but we have the nice blue with a little bit of red merge, and then we have red on the sides as well, same on the back. So this is going to be another one that's going to be on the rotation for a long time. I'm really the one thing I really love about these represses is you get so much stuff. I mean, we have the insert, we have the gorgeous vinyl, and then we have a massive poster on top of it. So really badass. But I'm going to go ahead and start unraveling this one a little bit. A long time holy grail for me. So I managed to pick up, man, quite a few of the seminal albums from this band. And this one and another album that came around the same time. Both hugely influential to me as far as heavy metal goes. The band that really dug me in next to Sabotage. Rest in peace, Chris Oliva. You know, this album and its predecessors and the albums after it really meant a lot to me as far as who I am today and the music I listen to. Peace of Mind, Iron Maiden, 1980, off the EMI Records. So the interesting thing about this is when this came out, obviously you have the European plant, you have the record plants in Europe that are going to do it, and then they get distributed. Well, this is the Sterling press. So this is actually a first press. I think even the record store rated it as a very good. But this is the same year it came out, 1983, if I'm getting my numbers right. So 1983, I think. I believe so. When this came out, you have your European press, your European plant. Well, when this came over to the United States, there was actually a Sterling label that pressed this for them. And this is the first one to come over to the United States. So pretty, like, kind of an interesting story behind it. But this came out the year that the album came out. For as far as I'm concerned, that's still considered an OG. Sound Exchange didn't charge me a whole ton on it, especially for a very good when it comes to the quality of this. But yep, we got black on black. We got custom labels on the back. As far as the cover goes, absolutely outstanding. You can start to see a little bit of the ring wear, so it's definitely been in there for a hot minute. So we're going to have to do some replacements for that to protect it. But Somewhere in Time was... Ooh, man, it's tough. Between this and Somewhere in Time were probably the most meaningful, and Power Slave. I would say those three mattered the most to me. I mean, Hollow Beat, you know, the Number of the Beast, and I know a lot of people love Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, but I would say the three records that meant the most to me would be this, Power Slave, and Somewhere in Time. Somewhere in Time still being my favorite Iron Maiden record to this day. So underrated and not played enough, and it really bothers me live. But I've seen Iron Maiden twice. They've blown me away every time. Really, really happy I got to see Bruce Dickinson. He still sounds incredible. The band live is still a six-piece. They're absolute pioneers in the heavy metal era. There is no one ever is going to be like Iron Maiden. If you listen to how many bands have copied off of them or ripped off of them, there's just no one like this. The reason I wanted to get this so bad is just because when you go to an Iron Maiden show, I feel like they play half this album live. I mean, Somewhere in Time you might get one song. Power Slave, I think you usually get two. And, you know, Number of the Beast, you always get, like, Hollow Be Thy Name. You always get at least two songs of that. But Somewhere in Time is so hard for them to, like, you know, Sea of Madness is still, like, I guess my Holy Grail song. I would love to hear them play, but to this day, they still haven't played it live since I've seen them. But maybe one day we'll get that day. But, of course, Power Slave, this is Iron Maiden's first record to have Nico McBrain behind the drums. And just the track list itself, I swear, they play half this album live. I mean, Where Eagles Dare, Revelations, Flight of the Icarus, Die With Your Boots On, and The Trooper. I mean, those songs right there, I've heard them play every time live. So it's just unbelievable that how important that record is to that band. I mean, the Trooper itself is like a landmark song for the band. I mean, the Trooper is done in so many different ways, whether it's the Trooper beer, the Trooper action figures, the Trooper poster. You see it everywhere as far as this band goes. And obviously it's a really important album. It's one of my favorites of all time. But I'm so glad to happy to have it. If I ever do see an OG European press, I'll probably still get it just to have it because I'm a collector freak when it comes to some of those things. But it's really cool to be able to have this and have a story behind it and be able to jam it and play it. So that's it for me. So the first video was a little bit longer than this one, but I wanted to at least kind of go over it. This is a fun hobby to sit back and talk about heavy metal memories. I've met a lot of really cool people through the VCLT and the YouTube, YouTube video, as far as like record collectors goes, metalheads, like a lot of cool guys have reached out and I've talked to them, and it's just a neat way to express your hobby. I know these videos aren't like the best, they're certainly not edited in any way, shape, or form, but it's fun for me and it's a nice outlet, especially when you're done with work. So that's it from me. Hope you guys had a little bit of fun, maybe learned something new, maybe this will get you hooked on a different band or a different album. I hope you guys are doing well, taking care of each other out there. I'm going to have another video coming up really soon, because there's a band that just dropped a new song that I thought we would never hear from ever again. Little band off of Trustkill Records, and by little I mean it was a huge band for the Trustkill record label era. They just dropped a new song for the first time since, God, when did Lividity come out? 2011, 2009, I think maybe 2009. So it's been a long time since we've heard anything from that band. So anyway, that's it from me, guys. Look forward to another video real soon. This is Marty McFly. Take care of each other, and peace.